What's up, YouTube? It's about 4:45 in the morning. I'm gonna shoot a quick one and go over some lights. Um, See that Olight gets a lot of flack from a lot of people on this in the gun community, and being that I've used them for work for a long time, I decided to give one a shot before I found out that apparently they're hated by everyone. Called uh, IEDs, and I will give them that they run hot. They do run hot. There's no way around it. But after I saw some of the comments and stuff, I turned that flashlight on, the Olight Odin Mini, and I turned it on and I let it run all the way till it died. Um, there wasn't a fire, there wasn't an explosion, and I did it again. So it took about almost, I'm gonna say, 3 hours from completely dead to charged up. Um, But I got a couple different lights. We got some Streamlights, and I'll show you the kind of stuff that I have with my kit and what's on my firearms. And I'm not going to do any pistol mounted lights because they're in the safe and my family's asleep. But I have a couple rifles that I can show you guys. So let me show you this stuff first, and then we'll shine some lights down across my yard. So here's kind of the layout. There's a Coast headlamp. I like this headlamp because it has red light as well as white light, and the battery life seems to be pretty damn good on this one. My old Streamlight, this is a ProTac. This is the old one, and I ran this on a rifle for a long time. I did not have the pressure pad because the handguard was just not going to conveniently mount the handguard. I'm sorry, the pressure pad. So there wasn't going to be an easy way for me to access this. So I ran a foregrip that when I wrap my thumb around, I would hold the foregrip and wrap my thumb around, and I could easily access this light, which is incredibly bright, as you can see if I move my hand. So I'll show you how far the throw is on all these lights, which in my opinion is far more important than the lumens and stuff. They all claim, for example, in this case, the Odin flashlight that I have on the SBR, it claims more lumens than the Streamlight that's on my 16-inch 5.56 gun. But that may be so, but this casts more of a flood, and I prefer the hot spot in the center of this because it lets you send it much farther out. But as far as these Olight flashlights, like this is one that I use for work regularly, and it's got like a kind of dim setting and then a brighter setting. These are all kind of dead because I do use them for work on a daily basis. So this is drained out. I can't really show you the brighter setting. Now I'm telling you, I use this every day. I'll show you how I use it, so you kind of get an idea of the purpose. Here's a two-way clip, right? I'm sure if you guys are looking at my channel, you already know what a fucking two-way clip is, but I'm going to show it anyway. So I'm in the dark, right? I'm in a hoistway where it's sometimes pitch black, you know, and a lot of times the lights on the top of the elevator, car tops, uh, they don't work, right? The bulb's busted or whatever. So I just take my flashlight and I don't have to carry a headlamp and all this other crap on me. Plus, I can use it as I can use it handheld. I'm looking for something, and then, okay, that's where the problem is. Whatever, I gotta strip this wire. I gotta pull this bolt out and fix this or whatever. The counterweight's rubbing on this thing, and now I'm gonna pull out my channel locks or whatever, and I can just go hands free. And it is super handy. This thing is super handy. As you can see, I run two of those. This one I keep with me. This is the one that I carry generally around not at work. When I'm at work, I run that little Coast handguard, and I run this other, the black Olight. The difference is this one runs on AAA, and at work they provide me with AA's. So I ended up buying another one, which they, reimbursed me for, so that I can have easy access to AA's. But the battery, usually I'll swap it out every kind of week and a half, unless I have a project that's like in the dark where I'm running a light the entire time. I'm okay with it for about a week and a half, just doing little things, here and there. Obviously, sometimes I'll go a week and a half without even touching a flashlight. So, but you get the idea. I don't know the runtime on these flashlights. My biggest thing is that I get that they're Chinese, right? And I'm not by any means. I don't want to say that I'm like an Olight fanboy. If anything, I really much prefer my Streamlight flashlights. I'm not gonna lie. They claim less lumens, and yet they seem brighter to me. Prefer the color of the light, um, in a lot of cases. But if all you can afford are Olights, it, it's not going to be the end of the world. Don't cave to these people that are like, well, I bought one Surefire light, so it's like, all right, well, I have a Surefire on my fucking Staccato. I don't give a fuck. I still buy these things, and they don't blow up. I saw this guy post his kit, right? He put his plate carrier up, and I thought it was so funny that he has this little Olight clip light clipped onto his plate carrier, because I also have one of these clipped onto my plate carrier. And people are like, oh, yeah, you have just so aim at the light, right? Like, motherfucker, I ain't walking around with this thing on. You will be in a situation, if you're wearing this thing, right? You're going to find yourself in a situation in the dark where you need light. It's not a tactical situation. You're not fucking walking around with your gun up looking for something. No, like, well, fuck, we're lost, Let me open my map. Let me fucking, whatever it is, I gotta write something down. This thing, you can double tap, you got your red light, single to swap back over to white, turns off just like that, right? Or you can just start it with white by tapping it once. You can set it to what brightness level you want. And we're going to do that over there in the dark. I'm going to show you guys what this thing is capable of. And for 30 bucks, with a strong clip that fits perfectly in Molly, it's kind of hard to say no to that. So I keep that on me as well, on my plate carrier, exactly like this guy does. So when I saw all the bullshit he was getting from people that probably don't even own a fucking plate carrier, or don't have any fucking means of light because they've never used the fucking thing in the dark, they have no idea. They just don't know. And we're going to say 95% of the people commenting about, oh, light is trash, even Streamlight is Chinese. They are Chinese, but they're not trash. And from my understanding, the one that blew up, that started the whole fucking IED bullshit, the guy had swapped this battery out, and he put the wrong type of battery in. So let's not put that on Olight, right? And I hate to sound like I'm just trying to fucking defend these people or stand up for them, but I'm not. I'm trying to open your eyes. If you're falling for this bullshit and you're like, fuck, I can't afford a light. I mean, do I recommend you just save up longer and buy yourself a nice light? Yes. But if it's going to stop you from buying 1,000 rounds to train with, I'd rather you buy the fucking whole light and go get ammo and train. I think that's money better spent. All right. So I'm going to go out there and we're going to show you the different brightness levels of each flashlight to the end of my yard, which is not huge by any means. All right, let's get set up. All right, guys, here we go. This first one is the SBR with the Olight Odin Mini on it. We're going to shoot it at the dark over there. All right. set this bad boy down. I'm not gonna cut this video. I am using the Coast headlamp to look around here. Well, it's not that dark. I got all my patio lights on. Okay, now this one is the Streamlight ProTac, the HL-X, that comes with the pressure pad for mounting on rifles. Here we go. Now let's do these easier ones. These I'll show you just my headlamp. That's what that looks like. So it's a big floodlight, obviously for performing work nearby, not for casting it out. Now this is a little, you can't see it at all. Let's this is the little Coast handheld light that I was telling you I use at work. So this has the little telescoping thing. I'm going to shine it out, the big floodlight, then you zoom it in, and it helps. You know, not bad. I think it was 20 bucks for 2 of these things, so that's pretty darn good. Now we have my little hat light. These are not at all by any means made to see at a distance. Again, this is for working up close. You know, you get a flat tire in the dark, whatever the case may be. That's the dim setting. This looks like it's also dying. And then the bright setting. Really not bad for a single AAA type of light. So that's the little Olight. I have the other one of those, which is dying. But we'll try it anyhow. It's a little windy out here today, so bear with me. Okay, and that's the bright setting. Again, this one is very low. It is a lot brighter with new batteries in it. But I'm not at work, and I'm not about to put my personal batteries in it. So there you have that. And then finally, another Streamlight Pro. This lived next to my muzzle on my rifle for quite some time, and it's still kicking ass. So this one is very bright as well. It's the same as really the one that's mounted on my rifle currently. It's got strobe. It's got a dimmer setting. You know, it's the 10 tap programmable flashlights that Streamlight likes to put out. They're really good flashlights. So you guys can make up your own mind, of course. And I'm not trying to sell you on Olight. If you can afford a Surefire, it's not going to break your budget. Of course, go for the Surefire. It's not going to break your budget. But again, if you are, if you need a flashlight, and it's, you know, for starters, if it's not something you're going to use for combat purposes, you know, like having this little clip light on. Yeah, right. I never showed you the brightness of this guy. So let's put it on white light. This is the dim setting, right? Moonlight, they call it. This is pretty good. That's the second brightness. That's the third and final brightness. So for this little tiny cube to be able to put that out on a rechargeable closed system. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the brightest setting. I think that's pretty impressive. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to hate on it. I mean, for me anyway. But I just wanted to show you guys the different lights, and that you really, it's a light, guys. It's not a, you know, it's not a barrel or something that's so fucking critical that, or a weapon mounted light even. Although I have that Odin Mini on this guy, and it hasn't let me down yet. I mean, look at that. For a battery, for a light where, let me put this red light back on. For a light where you can literally just, you don't even have to take it off, but if you wanted to, you already know it has that scout mount where you like turn this, push the button, pop it off. I mean, that's pretty darn good, right? Not just that, but you don't even have to remove it. You can just take the tail cap off, sit your rifle next to your charging and just click, let it charge up like that. That's super convenient, man. It really is. I think they've come a long way, but the haters will say otherwise. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that helps you if you're torn between, you know, not getting a light or getting an Olight. You know, get the light. You definitely need a weapon light. But again, if you can afford the Surefire or some of the even fancier ones, do that. All right, stay safe out there, guys. Any questions or anything, send them.